Don't you know drugs are everywhere, drugs are everywhere, drugs are everywhere, you can't stop it. Living like a bag of pop in a bowl and so it's longevity. Drugs are everywhere, drugs are everywhere, drugs are everywhere.
Hey, Murph here. I'm a former heroin addict, current alcoholic, and you're tuned in to Self-Medicated Weekly Dose, a podcast all about drugs and the people who use them. As always, this program is inspired by the harm reduction movement, informed by my personal experience using all sorts of drugs for damn near 30 years, and enlightened by my special guests. And boy, oh boy, do I have a dynamite guest joining me today. She's an LA-based actor whose work spans television, motion pictures, and voiceover. You've seen her on Scandal, Teen Wolf, the indie film The Concessionaires Must Die. A tremendous and wildly talented actress. Please welcome to the program, Mirai.
Hey! Oh, nice.
Hello,
a standing
your fans
ovation.
are here. Yes.
Cool.
Your fans are here live in studio. They're excited to see you, and so am I. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for asking me. I'm pumped.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love you have this is like true Hollywood look. You have like some fur on here. What is, for the listeners, let's give them a lowdown here.
Okay. I come to you from my voiceover booth, which is my tiny little closet.
Of course. Shout out to voiceover actors in the closets.
Absolutely.
I'm one of them.
Yep. I'm wearing a Hello Kitty Back to the Future shirt because...
What is this mashup?
I know, right? It's pretty cute. It's pretty cute.
Hell yeah.
Once upon a time, I was the voice of Hello Kitty in a fun little project. So, yeah, so
Wonderful.
she has a special place in my heart. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're very excited to have you today because we got some jam-packed stuff. Specifically, you're the first true actor because I got a lot of comedians come on the program, myself included. We fancy ourselves actors, thespians. You know what I mean? Because we play make-believe and we're goofy on shows, but we're not really actors. I'm at least I feel like I'm not. I'm an imposter, but I'm a comedian first, actor second. But you truly, very funny, of course, as well. But you're an actor.
Thanks.
So I'm excited to have you on today, and I've kind of gone with a Hollywood theme here, a performance-based theme.
I wasn't
here for the
supposed
episode.
to prepare my Shakespeare monologue for you. That's not what you wanted.
Well, if you want to give us something quick, some quick Shakespeare. Is there any?
No.
What about Shakespeare's are drug related? When were the drugs? Maybe just the poison that Romeo and Juliet took. I don't know.
So much poison.
A lot of poison. Yeah, and not even to get high, just to die.
Out. Yeah, you go to the priest and he's like, here, have poison. Yes, you should pretend to kill yourself. No.
Yeah, Shakespeare wasn't really much of a party guy, didn't seem like in terms of drugs. He didn't write a lot of drugs into his stuff.
That's true. Probably more the sex part.
Yes,
Lots
big
of
on
sex.
sex. Yes.
Big on sex.
Big on sex. It was stanzas, sex, and rock and roll. That was his deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to do the monologue, we can also dive in if you have something prepared.
No.
If not,
let's
okay.
dive in.
Perfect. I wasn't going to hold you to that bit at all. Well, we'll start things off. This is a little something that I like to call the substance report.
This is the question. Do junkies' lives matter?
So, Mirai, the mainstream media. Yeah, that's Geraldo, by the way. Judging by your face, that's Geraldo Rivera asking the tough questions. Do junkies' lives matter?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a fun clip. So Geraldo, yeah. But yeah, the substance report here is the mainstream media, Geraldo included. The treatment that they give substance use and everything surrounding it has been trash for a long time. So I like to give people kind of a little bit of a different take on some of the drug-related stories in the news that we see out there. So this little number here that we're going to dive into is a fun one today. Like I said, it comes straight from Hollywood, California. This one's from The Independent, and the headline here is Cocaine Bear, true story of infamous bear who consumed duffel bag of cocaine and got Hollywood treatment. Animal overdosed after it ate 70 pounds of drugs thrown out of a plane by an infamous smuggler. So, Mirai, I don't know if you're aware of this film that's going to be coming out. Yeah, this is so Elizabeth Banks here. We have for the listeners, we have a little photo along with this article here. That's just a big old black bear and a photo of Elizabeth Banks, who will be directing the feature film.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So here, what we have is this trailer hit like last month, and I'll tell you, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we're gonna play it here in a second.
I haven't.
It's a fun one, so I'll just let the trailer do the talking, try to fill in the blanks for the listeners. But if you are listening at home, I'll throw a link in the description of this episode because you got to see this trailer. It's a very exciting a cinematic event, frankly, that I'm excited for. So let's take a look at this trailer real quick for Cocaine Bear.
Medic!
Oh, Jesus. What is that?
Oh shit.
Beth, we should go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Millions of dollars worth of cocaine.
That was a
fell
bear.
from the sky this
For
morning
the
in
listeners.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
There's more of this out there. They dumped it somewhere.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Forest is a dangerous place.
Hey, Henry, check it out. Something got into it. A deer, maybe.
A lot of cocaine was lost. I need you to go and get it.
Inspired by true events.
No, don't eat that, don't eat that. Let's see what kind of effect that has on you.
The bear. It fucking did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
There was a bear.
A bear?
It was far.
Hey, that's inappropriate.
Yeah. Bears
You're
killing
safe.
people.
Bears can't climb trees.
Of course I can.
It's going up after the kid. But now it sees the other dude's got cocaine on his shirt.
It kind of seems like the thing that stays with a man forever.
Apex predator. High on cocaine. Out of his mind. Oh man, you fucked.
What the fuck is wrong with that bear?
Shoot it, man.
This is the money shot coming here.
And don't ever come down.
We have such good luck in nature.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
What?
That's amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, Mirai, initial thought. You're going to see this film, yes?
Yeah, I think so. I think this looks like it needs to be seen on the big screen as well. There's no waiting for the release.
Thank you. Yes, this is a theater picture. This absolutely is. Because the CGI, pretty decent, I'll say. You get Elizabeth Banks directing, you're going to get some money behind it.
Yep.
So it looks fun with the bear. It's also
Yeah,
inspired.
It looks funny and horrifying, and I can't believe it's a true story. And
Yeah.
what is happening?
That's right. It's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. In the best possible way, I believe. Now the true story too. I hope they stick to this. The true story is a crooked DEA agent, as you know, most of them are the field agents. There was smuggling cocaine in from Colombia in a plane, and I believe he died. He had to jump out because they brought too much weight on the plane, and the plane was started to go down. So he had to throw a bunch of cocaine out of this plane and jumped out with his parachute. And I believe he just landed in somebody's yard in Georgia and died, or Kentucky, maybe it was, whatever it was, somewhere down south. And in the interim, they realized that this bear had gotten into the stash that he threw out. So a couple days later, a big black bear was found dead. So this is maybe filling in the 72 hours of which, taking some liberties creatively, of course, to make it a little more fun than just a bear probably ate a bunch of cocaine and immediately his heart exploded. It's probably what happened.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. It's because the news article, the headline you shared, made it sound like he just died.
He just died, yeah, because he wouldn't know when to stop. It's great. It's feeling great, but he doesn't know his limits. Likely, probably hasn't had. He's a country bear. He doesn't have any experience partying with cocaine.
Partying with those Hollywood folks.
That's right. That's right.
Me neither, bear. Me neither.
We'll get there. Mirai, don't eat any cocaine if it flies out of a plane and you just see it in the middle of the woods.
I think that's good advice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice for anyone, really. Any species, really.
Anything that flies out of a plane, probably.
That's right. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just don't eat shit that flies out of a plane. But yeah, so this is fun. This will be a fun movie. I wonder, in terms of like animals doing drugs too, because I feel like, of course, there's the sad part of this that you're, as a humanitarian, you're just like, this sucks. Like this bear's
poor bear
doing its thing, doesn't know what's going on, and now these shifty DEA agents have got him in quite a spot. So that kind of sucks. It reminds me of like, now I know you have animals there at the house.
Yeah.
You don't get them high, but I do wonder. Like I was thinking, growing up, I had a weed dealer who had a ferret as an animal, and he used to. Now this is what he swore too, is that he was like, the first few times he tried, he came over, I did not want to give him weed, but he's like, this ferret keeps coming up like now I don't know how much true this is or not, but he's like, would come up to my mouth and wanted me to shotgun some weed. So this ferret, like anytime you'd go to buy weed from this dude, you'd sit down on the couch, the ferret comes scurrying in, you'd like spark up a joint, blow some in the ferret's face, the ferret would run off. No, yes, no, the owner would. I would not blow. I didn't blow anything, but this ferret seemed to enjoy it. My point is,
my
like, animals consent with drugs. It's
accidentally.
Dicey.
It was not on purpose, but I had a bunny in
nice.
college, and I came home one day, and like the guys downstairs had clearly been smoking all afternoon, and it had just wafted through the vents, and. So I opened my bedroom and I was like, oh my God, and this tiny bunny, she's just no choice in the matter. So I took her outside right away, and she has never been more loving to me. She was just like all over me that day.
That's amazing. That's kind of the opposite of like a black bear on cocaine versus a little bunny rabbit stoned on weed. Yeah, that's like kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum there. That's wonderful. Yeah, I never had I had our dog Bowie that we had for many years. I lived with a lot of friends. It was a house with like 5 people living there, and we smoked a lot of weed. So I think contact high.
I met Bowie.
I mean, there's enough weed in that apartment that likely he might have just happened to ingest some. But
right.
And also, to be fair, really quick to that bear as well, is that there's no indication in the real life story that he also killed anyone. So he may have also gotten cocaine and been like, maybe he's running his mouth a bit, like pretty excited to tell you about, oh, here's some honey that I had, or here's like a thing that I'm up to. But he didn't kill anybody. So there's also this thing where it's like you could do cocaine, you get violent. Now that's apparently what they're trying to do here. Play for laughs, I guess, at least. But just to be fair to that bear.
Is that not true? Like cocaine won't make you...
make you more violent. No, they tried to say that, especially with crack in the 80s. They're like, people smoking crack and it makes them more violent. I mean, I would say that there's, depending on your personality, I think if you're prone to violence already, maybe you're a little more motivated to then go out and be violent. But like just doing the drug doesn't make you more violent inherently. Like it doesn't add that into the mix. So there's that. But there are certainly more drugs, I would say, that are like a little less or a little more chill. I think alcohol, I would say even maybe more so than cocaine even. People get drunk and get restless, get into fights, and beer balls is a whole thing and all that. I'm like, with weed, it's
beer balls.
Beer balls. Have you heard about these?
I have not heard of that.
That's just basically like you drink a lot of beer and you get big balls and you want to fight at the bar. It's like, oh, look at the beer balls on this guy.
Oh, not like your actual balls. Like grow or then like taste like beer or something like that.
Yes, your scrotum fills with lager and you're
so foamy.
Yeah, no. This is an expression from like, I don't know, 1997 that I'm bringing back. Beer balls. No, I wish that was the case. That would be maybe a little bit cooler than like just getting violent at a bar, like a
You're
drunk
like, what's
idiot.
the IPA version of that? No.
Oh my God, yes. We want the craft. You want them craft beer balls, of course. Oh man. Yeah, so, well, I don't know. Cocaine Bear. I think is it in theaters? I should have pulled, I don't know when it comes out. Maybe by the...
It said the 24th of February.
Mirai, thank you.
Universal.
Good eye. Universal Pictures, thank you. 24th of Feb. So yeah, that's coming up. That's coming up next month. So we're excited.
Good, like, I guess it's not quite Valentine's Day, but like... Depending how your Valentine's Day went, maybe the next week, here's
yes,
something you can do together.
If you have a Valentine's Day fling and it's still going on a week later or two or whatever, yes, Cocaine Bear it up. Yeah. I can recommend that just based on the trailer. But I will be seeing that, and we'll give our listeners a full report of that once we actually see the thing. We'll give a little review. Well, next, sticking with to slide along here, Mirai, sticking with this kind of, well, also to be, just really quick, this is a period piece as well, set in 1985. So just more context on Cocaine Bear, right? So the 80s are a great time, for drugs, specifically anti-drug PSAs, which I like to call propaganda, stigma, and ALF.
Don't use drugs. Don't use drugs.
Because that's what the 80s are to me as a child.
Alf like Alf?
Alf like Alf, yes.
I love Alf.
Alien life form, yes. Of course. Well, that's what the 80s were to me, was propaganda, stigma, and Alf when it comes to drugs. Because we never got a finish on Alf, did we? Didn't he like...
I don't know.
We got a cliffhanger, I think. I think it was like...
Alf was... I grew up in Japan when I watched Alf, but then when we moved to Singapore, it wasn't syndicated there. So I never got to finish.
Oh, my God.
There was a few shows I got to watch in Japan in the 90s, and then that's it.
And then they were out. Well, I think even here, I believe the way Alf ended was like the federal agents came, like the spaceship came down to get him, and the federal agents surrounded him, and then it was a cliffhanger, and then I think they canceled the show.
Oh my
So
God!
I think
So you never know
I don't
what
think anyone
happened
got. Yeah, I don't think anyone got the conclusion on Alf. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Maybe he ate cocaine falling out of.
That's yes. The spaceship was actually a DEA plane that was just smuggling cocaine in. Yeah, you're right. I think that was actually probably
That's
what happened. NBC was like, no, we just can't. We can't show it.
And
Poor
no
Alf.
cats stood a chance after that.
Alf on cocaine. My goodness, could he get any sassier? I guess he could if he got his hands on a bunch of cocaine.
Yes, he could.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. So this PSA I pulled specifically here for you because I wanted to get your take on it from a professional standpoint. You're a director as well. You direct theater.
Yeah.
So, I want to see what you think. We'll get into the messaging, the garbage, anti-drug messaging after the fact. But first, I just want to hear, we'll play this really quick, and I want to get your take from your directorial eye here.
Getting into drugs and being high is a stupid thing to do. Though being in control and saying no is not the easiest thing to do. Be an original and take a stand. You are free to say no. Don't let a friend push you into taking drugs. You got it right to say no. Right to say no.
Okay. So that was quite the
okay.
production. Little song and dance number there.
Listen, as a musical theater director and performer myself, I gotta say, catchy.
Yes. Great. Yeah. I think the best part about
got some good technique in there, and the jazz dance.
Sure. The choreography was tight. Yes.
Great choreo. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. It looked great. The messaging, the right to say no is a very funny thing because it's like, it's very interesting to frame it as like you have the right to say no, but you don't have the right to say yes. That's a very weird, you know what I mean? If you feel like it's the kind of thing where, of course, if you have the right to say no, you have the right to say yes. You should, anyhow. I don't know. I guess there's some things that's not true for, but then it wouldn't really be a right as much. Like, of course, you'd be like, wow, you want to go out and murder somebody? Like, you have the right to say no to murder someone. And you're like, yeah, I guess. And you don't have the right to say yes, but that's weird and muddy. But when it's something you're doing to yourself, you're putting in your own body. It's like you have the right, you have bodily autonomy. You have the right to say no to do something for yourself, or you have the right to say yes. But this is just like right to say no, but you don't hear boo about yes.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. But again, it's you're swept up in the moment. There's a guy on the marquee there singing and dancing.
Yeah.
There's skateboarding. Yeah, for the listeners, there's
Which
a lot
means
of
they're clearly cool. Like
very cool. These are cool
if you're
people.
Skateboarding and doing jazz dance, like you're definitely the cool kid.
And if you're not, if there's any doubt that you are or you're not the cool kid, then when the neon drugs flash on the garbage can lid, which I believe that was just all of a sudden drugs but almost looked like a there was quite the spread. It was a couple of joints rolled. It looked like one of those like DARE program briefcases where you'd be like, these are rolled joints. This is a little pile of cocaine. This is some indiscriminate like vial of pills or whatever. So it was like, that's what the drugs look like. But then that woman just said, no. She mouthed no. She blew these guys off. They, in like perfect choreography, flew into some trash cans, and then it was off to the races. Yeah, what a great. We don't see those as much now. Those fun, especially with the production values like that, with like a big song and dance number. It's just like now it feels like they almost gave up on the like goofy ass fun. Like they realized that they were being made fun of by a whole generation. But I'm like, commit. Let's just keep going with these ridiculous spots because you don't see them anymore. Unless I'm wrong. Have you seen something quite like that in a while?
I never. Today is the first time.
Well, yes, even going back to the 80s. let alone nowadays. Well, I'm glad that was a premiere for you. And that you approve of in terms of technically a sound song and dance number.
Yeah, no, there's so much going on. I totally missed the tray of drugs you were talking about. I didn't even see. I was like, yeah, please. I see skateboard dancing, and I like.
So here we are.
Missed the drugs.
Here we go.
Is that what that? Okay.
I'm gonna freeze it here. Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening.
No, I know it was a lot. I mean, there's a shit ton going on here.
It's a lot.
This guy says, "Hey." He's in the shadows.
Do
He's
some
going,
drugs.
Get over here. Look at this trash can lid.
Yeah, it's a buffet.
This is Oscar the Grouch's
on a
roof
trash
here.
can.
Let's come in on a close-up. We got some hypodermic. We got some syringes that seem to have the plungers pulled but nothing in them. So I'd say no pass on those. You're going to get ripped off there. A couple of joints rolled.
I was like, that's also unsafe. Like, don't inject air into yourself.
Don't inject
either.
air.
That's
Thank
also really bad for you.
That's medically sound advice. Don't just inject air into your veins. Yes. No caps on those syringes. They're already they're pre-pulled. There's nothing in them. So I'm going to say no, thank you on that. There's what looks like an empty pill bottle. So again, this guy's like hustling.
So again,
maybe he poured the pills out for you to see because
those are the pills, right?
I guess.
Then I would have put the pills the other way, like the box the other way around, so it's coming out of somewhere.
Yes, that's the presentation is a little sloppy for how much is going on here, because it looks like someone took the time, but they just didn't have the eye for it. Like, it looks like they actually did take time to arrange these drugs on this trash can lid. It's not like they just threw them out of their pocket and they landed like this.
No, they arranged this.
They arranged.
Sure.
We got looks like up in the top right looks like just a big bag of weed. So again, nice that you have the pre-roll option, like you're going into a goddamn dispensary in 2022. You've got your pre-rolls and your bag of, your big bag of weed there.
There's something for everyone.
There is something for everyone here. And then just what looks like maybe like a bottle of, I don't know what this small white.
I don't know
thing
what all
is.
these pills are.
Nah, I mean this is like
just like medicine.
Just allergy, just Benadryl. This guy's like shilling Benadryl right now.
Well, when you're sitting in the garbage waiting for people to approach you, like, you might have some allergies.
This guy was ready for them to say yes, and they just said no, was the thing.
Because they had the right. They had the right.
Did have the right. They had the right to say no to syringe full of air. So, that I feel good about that. Yeah, so let's... Here's the thing that I'm again, I keep harping on the fact that you're just a real actor. And so I don't mean to, embarrass you, but you are the first person I've been able to have on here where I'm like, oh, my James Lipton inside the actor studio bit is really going to be like, because like every actor, I'm sure growing up, you were like, I got to be on James Lipton. I need to be sitting inside the actor studio in front of my students, giving them advice like a young Bradley Cooper, sobbing, sharing a moment. As we all want to as performers. So I can't offer you that because Jimmy Lipton is no longer with us. But what I can give you is I can take you inside the user studio.
I love it. Yes, glasses.
The glasses have arrived. We end our podcast session with a weekly dose version of the questionnaire that was used masterfully for 24 years by the great James Lipton inside the actor studio. And the first question is, Mirai, what is your favorite drug?
Oh, I guess alcohol.
Ooh, boozy.
Or coffee. It's very hard to pick. Between alcohol and coffee for me.
My! What about a little Irish coffee, perhaps? A little best of both worlds.
Yes.
A little sip and a nip and a zip.
Now you're thinking.
Beautiful. What is your least favorite drug?
I've tried the only beyond that drug that I've really tried is pot, and I have never found the right amount. So I've never felt that high that people talk about.
I see. And listen, some people are going to say, hey, you got to find the right strain, girl. You got to do the right amount. You got to smoke it this way, that way. Sometimes it's just not for you. Is all I'll say. I'm not telling you it's not for you, but I'm just saying, sometimes we pressure people And you have the right to say no. Don't ever forget it. Do a little song and dance, and we'll talk all about it. What age were you the first time you found yourself under the influence?
Maybe 16.
Sweet 16. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
What an age.
But the drinking age was 18, so it's not.
Where? Oh, the drinking age was 18. Where was this now? Oh, this was in Singapore.
In Singapore.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sensible Singapore, 18. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Here we dangle it at the end of a carrot, so people are off to college. The puking, the binge drinking, the losing their minds because they've been denied.
I think you want to learn your tolerance before you learn to drive a car.
Yes.
That's just me.
Hey, that's sensible. Sensible. What celebrity's overdose death has had the most profound effect on you?
Robin Williams.
Oh, Robin Williams.
I guess, was that really an overdose? That wasn't really an overdose.
You know, here's the thing. There's only so many that
did a lot of. It was like.
Was it suicidal? Was it? He had some substance use issues. I'll accept Robin Williams. I'll accept Robin Williams.
Sorry, there's my dog in the background.
No, she must chime in. She must chime in. She knows her celebrity overdose death. It's Prince. I believe it's Prince, from what I'm hearing. What is your favorite slang word for cannabis? A drug that you don't love to do, but I'm sure you've heard some of the slang terms thrown around.
Slang words. I guess pot.
Pot? Classic. The pot calling the kettle.
I know
it's classic.
pot and weed, and that's it. Don't.
Pot?
Are they? That is the same, right? It's the
Of
same?
course. No, pot and weed are very much the same. Yeah, indeed they are. You've seen the trash can lid, you know.
I've seen.
What drug would you like to deal for a living? If you weren't to be an actor, what drug would you like to deal for a living?
Ooh, maybe like mushrooms. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard that's like very like magical kind of
magical
thing.
Indeed. A journey.
It's natural, grows in the ground, and like it made me feel like a little like a wood nymph or something, you know, like a little
playing the role of the wood nymph. I would purchase psilocybin mushrooms from this wood nymph. I certainly would. And what drug would you absolutely not like to deal under any circumstances?
I don't know. I think whatever's the most like maybe cocaine if it's gonna make you like kill people, but
sure.
But that's not what it's gonna do. I don't know. Whatever's like the most incontrollably like addicting.
Yes, cocaine. You would not like to deal cocaine to any bears. So that's sensible. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear Robin Williams say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You made me laugh.
Oh, that's lovely. That's wonderful. Mirai, here are your drug users. Well, I forgot to take my specs off. I was still James Lipton for a second there. I'm sorry. On the other side.
Oh my gosh. Now you're back. Where were you?
I'm supposed to do that transition while the music's going on, so it's less jarring. I apologize.
Murph, there was a whole other person here. I'm sorry you missed it.
Oh, man. I heard he's great. One day I hope to meet him. Well, Mirai, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for diving in here and doing this and getting goofy with me. Is there anything at Hi Mirai for folks who want to follow you?
Yeah, at hi.mirai. That way you can remember how to pronounce Mirai as well.
Hi at hi.mirai.
Thank you.
Yes. You got to spell it out for the kids. You know what I mean? Because they're like one ear in, one ear out. You got to give it to them. Any other projects recently or anything coming up? Anything you're working on that you want to let folks know about? Oh,
I just did the new Need for Speed video game that came out at the end of last year. I was one of the voices in that. So that was super fun. I played Dalray, who's really cool, like cooler than I'll ever be. But that is the fun of acting.
That is. You get to slip, especially video games. You get to go larger than life. It's a very fun, yes. I was in the old that Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever the hell video game. I got to be a cool character. Same thing. I'm like, oh, this is an old badass dude from the old Wild West. That'll never be me. But you know what?
So fun.
Just for a moment.
Well, only because like the West. I mean, you're in the West now.
That's true. I actually am somewhat
here to the Wild West. Yeah,
it is a bit wild. You know what? You're right. It's the present Wild West. You're right. Thank you. Now I feel cooler. And you got a need for speed. Let's be honest. You know, you're speeding around.
Yeah, on my like unicycle. I have a unicycle and
Wait,
a
you
tandem
actually have
bicycle.
one? I did not know this.
Yes, I don't know how to ride it. That's another time, you know.
Oh,
like,
man, you got to
but
come to
I
Portland.
I have a unicycle, a regular bicycle, and then a tandem bicycle that I got Dean for our anniversary. So we have every version of cycling you would like.
That is amazing to see. Yeah, you guys cycle. I need like a 3-panel shot of the two of you on the tandem, then the unicycle, and then we need to see all of that play out, please. But unicycles are tough, man. I don't know if
I'll be on
balance
the
at this
unicycle
age.
so much as like the unicycle is on top of me as I've fallen to the ground. That's probably more likely the image. But yeah,
That'll be a good shot. Well, thank you again so much for doing this, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. This has been your weekly dose.
Hey America, there's no use in sleeping with your children, with your daughters, with your sons, and with your husband.
Self-Medicated Weekly Dose is hosted and produced by me, Murph Meyer, with support from Pop Culture Collaborative. Our theme song is My Congressman by 15, courtesy of Jeff Ott and Hopeless Records. Original artwork and production design by Diana Kolsky. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the program, you can listen to new episodes of Weekly Dose every Wednesday. Just look for the Murph Meyer is Self-Medicated feed wherever you get your podcasts. While you're at it, subscribe to the Self-Medicated YouTube channel to see new video clips from the show each week. Follow me on Instagram at Murph Meyer. And for some top-shelf harm reduction resources, head over to selfmedicatedpod.com. Also, don't forget, you can call the Weekly Dose podcast anytime to leave me a voicemail message with your thoughts on drugs and the people who use them. Just pick up the phone and dial 443-MK-ULTRA. All right, that's about it for me. I'll see you next week. Love and solidarity. Goodbye.